With how happy I am with the final results over here, it is no wonder that her aftermarket value is skyrocketing. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven, today with a scale figure review, and guess what? I actually have a regret with this figure, and my only regret is not reviewing her sooner. This figure was part of my anime figure haul, which was like from 6 weeks ago, and this was my favorite figure among that bunch of haul of 6 1x4 scale figures, which was a really expensive haul. Now, with this figure over here, this is my very first scale figure from a brand that I have never purchased before, but I looked up to them. Like, I really liked what they have been doing, and I saw the user pictures. I thought they make great quality figures. Now, I finally bought my very first Party Look figure. Yep. So, if I'm not mistaken, like, I'm pretty certain at this point, Party Look is a Chinese figure brand that makes edgy figures, but they have a branch called Otherwhere, which is a weird name, sounds like underwear to me. So the difference is that Otherwhere is actually meant for the mainland China market. There is an Otherwhere version of this very same figure. The difference is that the Otherwhere version is not cast offable, it is 100% a safe figure, while this Party Look version is like the international version or the Japanese version. And yes, this figure is cast offable. Unfortunately, I can't do that on YouTube for obvious reasons. Finally, I have a 1x4 scale giant lolly figure that I can undress. You can see I'm a very happy person. So, introductions, this is Party Look's 1x4 scale Cat Eat Sutora, or Sutra, from Party Look original character, and I'm not sure who the artist is. I'm quite embarrassed by it. Like, there is, I mean, the name of the artist is over here, but in Japanese, and I can't read Japanese, but anyways. So with this Party Look figure over here, she stands at 26 centimeters tall to the top of her ear over here and including the base. But being a lolly figure, I think this is about the right size for 1x4 scale. And as for the pricing, the official price, if I remembered correctly, for the Party Look version, the cast offable version, is 30,000 yen, while the safe for work version, the Otherwhere version, is way cheaper. She is going for under 20,000 yen in China right now. Can buy one for under 1,000 Chinese yuan. Now, speaking of the unboxing process, you guys just saw the box earlier. This is like a 10 out of 10 box, maybe 9.5 out of 10. Where did that 0.5 points go, right? I wish that the box is a lot nicer in design, but that is just me nitpicking and it is subjective as well. But this thing is small and compact for 1x4 scale, and this thing is super hard, super tough. Like, even the corners of this box is so hard that it would be quite difficult to dent this box. And as you can see, low profile box design. So if your customs department is the kind that like to pry into your stuff, this thing will most likely get through customs very easily because, yeah, it appears safe for work. And even if they open the seals and inspect the contents, you know, the figure is like, has plastic wrapping all over the place, but appears to be dressed. It is not like the outfit, the clothes are separate, placed on the side of the box as in a different compartment. The outfit is not attached, applied to the figure, but there is a plastic film in between to prevent paint transfer. So on the surface, it looks like a safe for work figure. Unfortunately, it did not prevent all of it, which we'll get into the details later on in the paintwork section. But the good news that I noted with this figure is that the casting off the mechanism is very simple, very cleverly designed, that there is virtually nothing I can complain about. So with the way you cast off the figure, there is this trio of ribbons behind her where you can remove, and that is how you unplug her outfit, which is genius, I have to say, because this kind of design means that you won't have any ugly seam lines on the side of the figure, which is what a lot of the Japanese brands do. And the outfit is like this very soft rubbery material, very flexible, and I have two concerns with it. The first one being this kind of rubbery PVC material, they might become sticky over time, plasticizers. So This is the kinds of figure where you wouldn't want to lock inside the box forever, keeping it MISB, not exactly a good idea, to be honest. It is the nature of this kind of material. But the good news on the outfit over here is that the insides of the outfit is not exactly painted in the same black color paint you'll see on the exterior of this figure over here. It looks like the original color of the material before painting. I'm not sure if it is painted or not, but it does not look painted. And it feels really reassuring that I won't have any paint transfer issues where the black paint would end up on her nice body over here, because that is exactly what you don't want to happen on cast-offable figures like this. And as for the stability of this figure, well, this is one of the longest metal foot pegs I've ever seen for a squatting or sitting pose figure. Like, they are so long, unnecessarily long. They don't even need this level of security for this figure, which is unlikely to be unstable. I mean, this thing is quite rigid, right? She doesn't wobble much, if at all, when you shake the figure. So the stability on this is like a solid 8 out of 10. And over here, I think you can see it in my video even, I did not fully plug the figure into the base. I left a bit of metal protruding. Yes, because the assembly was a bit tight. Because she's a lolly, it has to be tight. I did not really want to fully push the figure all the way in, because you know what? If I want to take apart this figure for any reason, then it would be a really big pain in the butt. So I would rather leave some metal peg visible over there. That is a personal choice of mine. But yeah, the pegs are kind of tight. One more interesting design choice over here for this figure, coming straight out from the box, is that it is a bit weird, if I have to be honest, because her tail is plugged directly into the chocolate hole, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, you can swap out this tail for a green tea part. How do I even put this into words that won't trigger YouTube's algorithm? I think you get what I mean, right? The same hole is responsible for chocolate and green tea, which is not right. That is not how human anatomy works. So it is weird, but hey, the figure still looks amazing. I guess that I should overlook that. Just me nitpicking. So overall, impressions straight out from the box was extremely positive. So we move on to the sculpting department. I've said it many times on this channel, when it comes to original art characters being made into figures, the face is the most important part. It needs to look like the original artwork, otherwise the whole thing is ruined, right? And guess what? The face sculpt on this figure is like the best thing about it. Not the cast of upper part. It is the face, right? The face on this is so perfectly executed. She looks so adorable, so cute, that there is literally nothing else that I would change about the face. The face over here is like a 9.5 or even a 10 out of 10, especially this one over here, which you only see in the cast of upper version. Yup, the cast of upper version of this figure has 2 face plates in the box. Meanwhile, the standard version, the Otherwhere version that is safe, there is only 1 face plate. And guess what? I prefer this cast-off version face. She looks so much nicer with her tongue sticking out. I guess that I can understand why this figure is so popular. I heard that her value right now, over in Japan at least, is very high. You're looking at 40,000 yen and up for this figure if you can find one in Japan. Granted, if you head over to China's Taobao, you still might be able to find her at the normal release price of 30,000 yen or roughly 1,600 Chinese yuan. While stocks last, obviously. As for everywhere else, when you put aside her face, this is still a relatively simple figure, not too far off from those freeing 1x4 scale bunnies, except this is a cat girl figure, not a bunny girl figure. Plain black color leather outfit, and everywhere else the detail level is just average, right? Not exactly very detailed figure, but things that are supposed to be done right, they have executed it to perfection. The sculpting, all of this folds line on her leather outfit and her skin, right? The sculpting on her arms, her legs and everything is perfectly executed. So the sculpting of this figure, I can give it an 8 out of 10. Yes, I know it is pretty high for a 1x4 scale that is not exactly very detailed, but it feels like they get the smallest things on this figure done right in a way, especially the sculpt on the hair over here. If you look at the back of her head over here, all of the hair strands it is very intricately detailed. So I like it a lot, and I'm giving her a very high score for sculpt, both for the face and also the rest of the figure. And of course, if you are wondering whether you get any genitals underneath, yes, you do get all of it. Now moving on to the paintwork, this is a simple figure once again, so I'm not expecting a lot of details, but there is like a really mild amount of shading you can see in her skin, in her leather outfits over here. Like, it is not plain black color. Some of the areas, right, the black paint look slightly faded, right? As if when you stretch leather, right, when you use leather and you stretch it a bit, sometimes the color looks a bit different. Yeah, it looks like that. So there is like a very faint amount of shading on her outfit, but you need to pay attention to notice it. As for her hair over here, same thing again. If you pay attention, you look closer, yes, there is shading, there is weathering, very nicely done, looks very natural. And are there any flaws? Are there any QC issues? Well, paintwork is nearly perfect all over. Like, this is a very nicely executed figure with barely any flaws except for one single paint transfer on her left arm over here, and I believe this is also manufacturing error in a way where the paint on the figure has not fully dried yet, and then they pack the figure into the box anyway. So this hair strand over here left behind a black color paint transfer on her arm. It is so obvious it came from the hair. I used Mr. Hobby's leveling thinner to successfully remove the paint transfer with a cotton swab, but I was almost overdoing it. Like, the skin color around the arm area over there is starting to look a bit fairer than usual, and then I immediately stopped what I was doing. So yeah, don't overdo it, right? But if you are feeling courageous like I did, use Mr. Hobby's leveling thinner, specifically leveling thinner, to remove paint transfers on any figure, but do not use the industrial grade thinner you'll find from hardware stores that is going to strip the paint out from the figure immediately. Yeah, so be careful. So overall, I can give her a score of 8 out of 10 for the paintwork. If the paint transfer is not there, a 9 out of 10. So 8 out of 10 is a very good score because I'm very happy with the rest of the figure's paintwork. And finally, moving on to the base, this is no ordinary round disc base. You do get a very high quality, high clarity mirror over here. You know, some of the cheaper mirrors you see in $1 supermarkets or so, the mirror looks blurry, not very clear. Not the case over here. Crisp, clear. So why a mirror on the base? You already know the reason for it. In case you want to display the figure without any clothes on, then you get to see every detail. You don't have to bend down, to see the pink slate. Overall, with this figure over here, this is a very positive first experience with a brand that I'm buying for the first time, which is PartyLook, an edgy figure brand coming out from China. Like, seriously, man, Chinese figure brands nowadays, they did not need 5-8 years to become good like some Japanese brands. Initially, they were bad, and then they took many years to get better. These companies, in their first 5 years, in their first 3 years even, they are churning out figures that are almost perfect, which is insane when you think about it. And this figure over here, with how happy I am with the final results over here, it is no wonder that her aftermarket value is skyrocketing. It has been the case since she came out back in April. Yeah, I forgot to mention the release date earlier in this review. She came out around April for the international markets. So this is a very new figure, barely 2 months old. And this will be something I will be keeping for sure. I won't sell it. I like this thing so much. Yeah. So until then, if you found this review helpful or informative, please do give this video a like, subscribe to this channel for more content like this, anime figure stuff every week. And until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.